So 2020 was supposed to be our big coming out year, if you will. It was the first time we were. So 2020 was supposed to be our big coming out year, if you will. It was the first time we were going to have a full booth and showing at ISC West, and we had quite a few shows teed up this year to really share with everybody what we've been up to for the last almost 4 years. And so as we all know, this year has not gone as planned, and we really appreciate this. So kind of right off the bat, one of the things I want to help everybody understand is we're more of an IoT platform than a traditional access control platform. And that's the key differentiator to kind of start things off. So we view the IoT as the future path for connectivity and control in the built environment. Wired control is certainly not going away, but when you want to expand systems and retrofit buildings and deal with those types of things, wired solutions get really, really costly very quickly. So we have focused on trying to be first and foremost, a wirelessly connected solution. And embracing the Internet of Things means we start to participate in a whole other number of environments, like the smart home environment, like the smart building environment, and then getting into sensor networks, big data, automation, all sorts of opportunities open up once you step into kind of an IoT platform. This slide seems to be even more appropriate at the moment. We do feel that we are living in that fourth industrial revolution time in a period of disruption, and a whole new set of disruption and disruptive forces have impacted our lives. But this is kind of the premise of what we've been up to. We are a smaller company that's been around for a long time, but we've always had a history of being innovative. And as a global manufacturer and having access to global resources, starting about 4 years ago, we took a different approach to the future and what we were doing. So we feel we are in a great position. We're pulling together a lot of unique products and features and putting them together into a single new package. And if you know anything about disruption in any industry, it's not that somebody finally shows up with a new gee whiz technology. It's that they take a bunch of existing technologies and repackage them in a way that allows them to be used and leveraged far beyond what they were as individual components. So, our mission, we are focused on convenience and on the convenience side of access control. We don't promote ourselves as a high security solution. We are focused on small and mid-sized business and multifamily type applications where, sure, security and access control is very important, but they don't necessarily need to turn their buildings and facilities into Fort Knox, right? And if they want to have good user participation and buy-in, the experience needs to be as friction-free as possible and as easy and convenient, and allow the users to adapt quickly and move forward. Our customers have shared with us that they feel we are, quote, enterprise with a little e. And I thought that was a great compliment, because that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to deliver a really robust feature set, but without getting into the spectrum of what the bigger access control players do. We are by no means a replacement to a Genetec or a Lenel or RS2. We know what we are, and we try to stay in our lane. So kind of how we do it, we bring together mobile technologies, wireless mesh networking, and the power of cloud computing to deliver our solution. So we're mobile agnostic. We work on both Apple and Android devices. We're hosted on Microsoft Azure cloud services. So we have a very robust cloud backend behind us that allows for scalability and high levels of cybersecurity and uptime assurance. We have years of wireless mesh networking behind us at this point. We've been at this for a while. Currently, our wireless mesh network is a hybrid of BLE and ANT Plus technology. And in time, we'll move to an all BLE mesh as it continues to evolve and comes together. We are a Nordic partner and follow along what the Nordic SIG or what the BLE SIG does quite closely, and see it's evolving in a path that's going to be very, very complementary to what we're doing. We start our security measures and encryptions at the system on chip level. All of our products are SoC enabled, and by doing that, we begin embedding our cybersecurity tools and processes at that chip level. And then those processes flow through the entire ecosystem all the way on down the line to an end user's mobile device and or credentials. So we have focused on bringing commercial scale wireless mesh network capability to market. It's a low energy, high range scenario. And the other big thing that we think is the importance of the seamless, secure plug and play experience. Products are all serialized, token ID'd, and with QR codes. So setting up and commissioning devices is very fast and very easy. It can even be done offsite prior to installation. And in certain applications, we can actually pre-commission devices to the accounts before we even ship them out of the facility where we manufacture in Pennsylvania. The other big thing is intelligent automation and user personalization. Having a strong mobile platform gives us the ability to let users do a little bit of tweaking of how they see and manage and process the information we provide to them. So on the deployment side, we're really focused on that quick and easy kind of a plug and play scenario. This gives you kind of a graphic idea and representation. So the black box that you see there in the screen is a bridge, a gateway. It comes by a number of different identifiers. What we call it is our hybrid cloud network device. That's really an edge device with intelligence behind it. So being a cloud hosted solution, if we lose cloud connectivity, the HC&D is there on-site, on-premise. That's our quote on-premise appliance, if you will, that will run and manage and maintain the system until cloud connectivity comes back. That device supports 240 nodes or devices. Range extenders and locks are equally as nodes or devices. And so you can begin to expand out and cover a facility by adding those range extenders to it. Each range extender supports 40 nodes itself. And you can use multiple range extenders in conjunction with a hybrid cloud device in order to deal with building architecture and layout issues. The range extenders can go 2 hops from the hybrid cloud device. So you start to get pretty good reach. We publish a 65-foot connectivity range within the built environment. Quite frankly, we're finding that we're performing better than that. But I've been doing this a long time, and I found it's easiest if we be conservative in our publication of what connectivity is. And if you need to expand even further, or if you run into connectivity issues, you can always add additional hybrid cloud devices. That is a PoE enabled device, so it can run on auxiliary low voltage power or be driven off a powered switch. And then it will create its own, excuse me, wireless mesh network. It runs through its own self-forming, self-healing process. And ultimately, we have found that if you let a site marinate overnight, the system runs through its algorithms, and when you come back the next morning, you find everything has established its own best paths for connectivity. So again, to kind of emphasize that plug and play system setup, it's really quite simple. You know, we promote a PoE network switch. Just plug in the bridge and then begin plugging in our range extenders or signal amplifiers, if you will, that help carry that signal out throughout the building. You know, we are predicated upon internet connectivity to a certain extent as we're setting things up, and we do monitor and watch and see what the connectivity looks like. Most recently, we have been able to find and identify a number of challenges we're all having. There's a whole lot of commercial IT infrastructure not being used at the moment, and lots of people are hammering away on their home networks, and we are able to see some of those bandwidth impacts across the country as the internet providers struggle to maintain a network that was not quite designed to be utilized the way we're doing it right now. If connectivity is lost, the system simply goes through a 15-minute algorithm process and will wake up. You can kind of hot start the system if you're on site and run around and wake everything up and force it to speed up its connection time. So it's very scalable. Building design drives the system design. We can support multiple sites and thousands of devices and thousands of users for that matter. And it gives the dealers and ultimately the end user customer a huge amount of flexibility to deal with their various sites. And then being cloud hosted means you can have multiple sites scattered across multiple states. From a scaling up standpoint within a multi-story structure, our wireless mesh network, the simple terms to think of it is that signal runs horizontally, not vertically as well. So you would have a hybrid cloud network device per floor and range extenders associated with that to reach throughout the building environment. Floors and ceilings in commercial buildings tend to be very dense, noisy environments, and you just don't get very good signal penetration. Our network gear is really designed to be going up in the ceiling, and the higher the better, and also extends the reach. Doing office buildings, which are typically drop ceiling environments, fairly open and airy, you actually get really strong connectivity out of the hybrid cloud device and a minimal number of range extenders required to finish connectivity. So on that scale up side, the whole system is managed by us through an OEM portal. That allows us to provision accounts and also provide back-end support and services if it's needed. There's a master account structure, which then flows down to allow provisioning of administration accounts and then ultimately on down to tenant accounts. We actually do offer 2 account structures. Not shown here is we do run a flatter individual account structure that's designed for smaller users or those that don't have multi-sites or multi-tenant needs. That's a quick and easy way to handle deployment. It doesn't offer the same dealer management options that this one does, but it works for a lot of applications. So our structure is designed so that dealers can provide managed back-end services. As we'll get to in a few minutes, we are a SaaS model, and we do encourage dealers that we partner with to provide ongoing services in a managed services way. And we are finding a good amount of success in recruiting new dealers from that kind of managed services category. The multi-tenant structure really helps us handle whether it's office buildings, multiple building site applications, or the other segment, and you'll see the products in a minute. We are in the multifamily space, doing apartments, senior facilities, dormitories, things of that nature. As you see, the form factors we have support that. So we actually come out of an industrial and high-end commercial background. So security is at the core of what we've been doing. We have an application level of security, and we have a number of patents surrounding our AES 128-bit encryptions, which CBC stands for Cipher Blockchaining. Not everybody is familiar with that, but it's an additional layer of cipher encryption technology where we take a standard AES 120-bit encryption and then break it down and cipher blockchain it together. What this does is it really prevents the man-in-the-middle type attacks. It really strengthens our ability to push back against sniffing attacks and other attacks against our communications. If someone somehow was able to capture one of our transmissions, every single transmission is a one-time assemblage of the information. And so even if they were able to crack it and get a hold of it, it wouldn't do them any good. It wouldn't allow them to execute any actions or do anything else at that point. They would just simply see the cipher blockchain encryption. The other thing that we're doing right now is we actually have 3 individual platforms. We're talking about our fully networked version here. Our newest addition to our product family is a standalone version where we do leverage biometrics in the mobile device. So fingerprint recognition on a Android device and facial recognition on an Apple device. And in the coming months, we're actually going to migrate that capability into our XLS mobile platform. We currently offer an additional PIN code validation for the user, but the feedback we've gotten from the market is that at the mobile device, many of our customers would like that additional validation and authentication by leveraging the biometrics. So we do provide a mobile application with what we're doing. The mobile application is dual purpose. It can either simply be the mobile credential platform that's used to interact with our devices, or we are a fully mobile enabled and managed system. So mobile administrators can be authorized on the system through their secure login. And if you're a mobile administrator, through your app, whether it's on your phone or your tablet, allows you to manage all your accounts, add and delete new users and devices, create and manage user and device groups, create access control rules or modify them, set schedules, create automation rules, set notifications from the system. The system supports automatic notifications for certain events. Track users, you can see a real-time audit trail and events in real time of what's going on. And if you need to pull an audit trail on the fly, you can even do an export right from your mobile application. The app is very simple, user-friendly, and intuitive, and it puts a tremendous amount of power in managers' hands. You are no longer tied down to being at the facility to manage and operate stuff. Because we're a wireless mesh network, we also then, and it's enabled through the structure of the accounts, we can enable remote operation and control of devices. Property managers love that fact that they can actually remotely lock and unlock doors and openings and control things when they are totally not on site. And in today's current lockdown environment, it would be pretty handy if you needed to let somebody into a facility to sit from the convenience of your home and just hit a button on your mobile phone to let somebody into a facility. So flexibility is key to what we're doing. So we're a web browser unified. So any internet enabled device can allow the administrator to manage the system and access its capabilities, invite new users on the fly, check recent events, do all of those things from anywhere on the planet at any time. The revolution that is the smartphone, when applied to security and access control management, gives you a really powerful and robust solution. And our focus is to deliver that in a really cost-effective, affordable way. So now, the big point, how do we do it? How do we deliver that wireless mesh connectivity in a building? Well, at our core, we're a lock manufacturer, and we've been a lock manufacturer for 37 years, mostly in the commercial and institutional space. Many of the audience at IPVM has probably never heard of PDQ, but we directly compete on a day in and day out basis against all of the product family offered by Allegion and Assa Abloy and Dormakaba Stanley. We compete against them in all market facets. So we offer a grade 1 cylindrical lock. That's our own patented design and chassis behind that. It's an extremely robust, strong lock. We have a heavy duty deadbolt. That's a motorized deadbolt, rated grade 2, designed for multifamily and housing applications. We have a grade 2 cylindrical, right? As I've focused on the point of us trying to be affordable, right? Not every lock in an office building needs to be grade 1. I would love it for every lock in a building to be grade 1, but the reality is of budget constraints and other things, it's not necessary. So we are one of the only companies to offer a grade 2 smart lock to fit within our system. It's a great application for light office applications or storage rooms that aren't being dealt with on a regular basis. We also offer a grade 1 mortise lock. So that grade 1 mortise lock is one that we build right at our facility in Pennsylvania. It is an extremely robust unit. We've surpassed, I think, 13 million cycles at this point. And when you go to a mortise lock, you get multiple lever design choices, greater aesthetic options. It's a very clean and kind of sexy lock, if you will. But the other—
Gotcha. Travis,
yeah.
I'm going to horn in here looking at time. I have some questions. Is it okay if we ask those now?
Absolutely. Chime in.
Gotcha. What, as far as the lock itself, the mortise lock cylinder, Is that a standard mortise? That shouldn't be, specialized or proprietary. Can any existing keyway be matched to these
So
locks?
the beauty of what we do is you're exactly right. That's a standard mortise lock. That's equivalent to anything you would buy from Sargent or Schlage, which means it can then accept from a basic cylinder to the most complicated high security Medico solution. It does not matter.
Gotcha.
And we even run a single cam across our entire mortise lock portfolio. So you don't even have to get into the complexity of, oh, do I need this cam or that cam? So we don't show it here, but most of the products that you see support standard key and lever cylinders, SFIC cylinders, and some of our platforms also support a Schlage large format IC. It kind of varies upon the individual product models. We as a company factory support 22 other keyways from our competitors. So if need be, you can even call us up and order the matching keyway to go with what we do. And we do a heck of a job at factory keying stuff. So that's one of the benefits of working with us. We're a lock manufacturer and we speak lock. So whether it's different finishes, different lever choices, or the multitude of keying situations, we can help support that.
Gotcha. And
And
I
those are
think
all battery powered products.
Gotcha. And what batteries do they take or operate from?
4 AA alkalis.
Okay.
Real simple, just 4 AA alkalis.
Pretty standard. And
And then yeah, go ahead.
do these lock sets, are they fail secure or fail safe?
So depending upon which configuration it is, most of them will ultimately fail safe and not fail secure, and all of them are barrier free on the inside. So we don't tout them for use in high security applications or perimeter applications. In those cases, we push you towards where we have a reader controller that allows you to configure other access control devices and create those fail secure type applications if that's what you need.
Yeah, gotcha. And
again, we're focused on that convenience, not high security. We don't tout ourselves as being the best path forward to create Fort Knox.
right. What about the frequency being used? It's not BLE, and you might have mentioned it, but what wireless technology format are these locks using?
They are using BLE and ANT.
And ANT. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So all of those form factors that you saw support multiple credential options right as they get shipped out of the box. So one of the core things for us was to put more options in the individual lock. So every one of those locks that I showed you will support RFID technology, so multiple RFID credentials, whether it's cards, fobs, wearables. They all support natively the mobile application, which if you have an Apple smartwatch will also drive the locks. Android currently does not support the same application structure as what Apple does, so unfortunately an Android watch won't drive the locks, but an Apple watch will. All of the locks come with capacitive touchscreen, so PIN access is another credential option. And then mechanical key override. In the lower corner there, you can see that it's one of our exit device trims with probably an SFIC core cylinder in it. Or actually maybe a Schlage one that I see there. So what we're doing is we're giving the users a high degree of flexibility, right? It makes it tougher to get locked out if you have your own PIN code, your own RFID card, and your mobile phone as a backup. And then worst case scenario, somebody can come along and use a key to gain access. In the multifamily space, those people love this because lockouts start to go away, right? Any user can assign themselves a multitude of credential solutions or have user credentials assigned to them by the administrator that allows them to gain access in a couple of different ways. So we are access management software as a service. It kind of comes with being in the cloud environment, and we do see that as the future of security and access control. And as we look at the way the market's going and we're seeing where the growth is at, that market was pioneered by Brevo, and everybody thought they were crazy so many years ago, and now that's a pretty brilliant play. And one of the things that we're noticing right now is an awful lot of our dealers are wishing they had a whole lot more SaaS coming in right now, and getting paid to sit at home. That's one of those ancillary benefits of when you move to a software as a service kind of model. I'm going to speed up here real quick. So as an IoT platform, we're evolving at a pretty fast rate. Later this year, we'll be launching some new products like IP door controllers, a new line of readers, and even an integrated video surveillance solution. So kind of as we head down the home stretch, being cloud-based means we're really easy to manage, quicker deployment, no software to install, devices can be pre-commissioned, reduced labor costs. You're pulling significantly less cable on any site where we're at. Upgrades are handled by us. We do firmware over the air to all of our devices through a couple of different network paths. You get reduced maintenance and you get kind of constant security updates delivered via our cloud server. Kind of the value proposition that we're bringing to the market with a wide variety of form factors, the opportunity to solve customers' problems goes up, cost and complexity comes down. In most cases, you're going to take the old lock off, and worst case scenario, you're probably going to drill one additional hole in the door and put the same type of lock pack on the door. So we're a very quick and simple way to deploy the products into the market. Going through all that stuff, I want to get to the next part, which is what everybody's probably wondering about. What does it cost? So here it gives you an idea of MSRP on our network components and our credentials, and what some of our professional services are typically billed out at from a support standpoint. And then on the devices themselves. So the Deadbolt list price is $430. Our most expensive device list price is the exit device trim, which is fairly universally adaptable. So you can use our exit device trim. It may require an additional backplate kit, but we fit a lot of the other manufacturers' exit devices. Again, looking at convenience and affordability, we don't want to force people to have to go buy a brand new exit device when the legacy one is probably in still good working order. With an adaptation kit, you can match our device up to Von Duprin or Corbin Russwin or Yale or other devices that are out there. We do kind of a pricing structure traditional in the hardware space, so it's a discount structure plus an additional layer of discount on stuff based upon our dealer program.
Do you need to be a general PDQ dealer, or can you just buy the Smart XLS platform?
So we're really promoting a dealer model at this point. You know, it is fairly simple and easy to set up, but we're really looking for partners out there in the market, right? Training is pretty straightforward and quick and easy, and so we have a three-tier dealer model because there is a SaaS piece and some other parts going with it. So our preference is that we really drive this through dealers. It is becoming more and more widely available through wholesalers as we begin to work through those relationships.